All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Speed Gaming. A Link to Past Randomizer is the Sunday Open, everybody's favorite. It happens every week. It's a good old time where we get to watch four of our runners go through the most classic version of Randomizer, as we all know and love it. But before we get too far into it, let us introduce ourselves. I'm Slumberjack. Joining me on comms today is Lana Bean. How are we doing?
Fantastic. How are you?
Oh, doing great. It's Sunday, nice day off, and I get to sit here and just talk about Link to the Past Randomizer, which, not a lot of people let me do that too often, so I have this little opportunity. It's great. It's wonderful.
Absolutely. If we behave, we get to commentate, which is awesome.
Yep, exactly. And then joining us today, we have some other people working in the background. Professor Render, he's actually running today, but he was also helping us get this whole entire thing set up. Thank you so much. Drossie's working in the background as well. And then tracking for us today, we got Mad Ewok Herd. Got a key there. Mad Ewok Herd, and then we have also Togepi doing our tracking today. Thank you so much for pressing the buttons, and we are off to the races.
Yes, the small key in the back of Escape looks like a red crystal at both Eastern and Hera, and a regular crystal at Desert.
Oh, so 3 pendants going to be in the Dark World. So that'll make the Dark World check super easy, because then you're just looking for the 1 pendant, or the 3 pendants, essentially, and then 1 red crystal.
Thieves Town is going to be a pendant. That's just how it is.
It's going to be Thieves Town, Skullwoods. We're also going to find an early Fire Rod, because that's how this always works.
Absolutely.
I did see Tree Pole was some arrows, and nothing on Lumberjack.
Looks like a heart piece from Uncle.
And a lovely hook shot. What's the official name of this chest? I don't know what people call it.
I think it's just the Uncle chest.
It's just Uncle chest? Well, that has the hook shot in it, apparently. Which is my favorite item in the game. It's so fun for mobility.
Oh, bush crabs, dropping bombs.
Oh, so good. That's like the one thing I don't like about... Oh, there's a sword as well. That's the one thing I usually don't like about open mode, is just like, oh, I have to find bombs early. But when the bush crab bails you out, it's a nice one.
No, absolutely. Oh, and 300 at the drop down. Wow.
I saw Calvin immediately change their mind when they saw that full magic drop. They did tree pull and then went right back for it. And I'm like, yeah, you probably want to.
Yeah, get the refill early. I mean, you never know if your first available item is going to be Samaria, Fire Rod, Ice Rod. So it's good to have some full magic if you can get it.
Professor Render also getting that same exact magic drop. And then Kiebs, I hope I'm saying that name correctly. It's going to be the way I'm going to say it for the next 2 hours. So hopefully they like it. Kiebs, being our first person into Kakariko, what do we have here? Some roops and bombs? It's some roops and bombs.
Money! Yay!
I think we're almost at the exact amount of money. We're maybe 100 rupees short of what we need to buy everything in the game.
Something tells me we're not going to be getting a houlihan today.
Yeah. Get some good old classic audio from Calvin. It's nice. On this stream, sometimes, whoever's watching right now, we get to hear original soundtracks from all sorts of games that have been approved by the main tournament or the league, the council, as they call it. But today we just get the good old classics.
Well, we do get a mandatory bug net out of the well, otherwise pretty empty.
Okay, we're gonna hope. Well, we have the sword, so it's not gonna be too mandatory this time. Could have been, but...
And that was a glove off a bottle bender.
Okay, that's good. I mean, I'm pretty sure failed chicken throw, but that's okay. I'm sure everybody's gonna get that because of how much rupees we've already found.
I'd almost make the next check once you're done with Kakariko. Back of Escape, to be honest with you.
True. Yeah, you could do Back of Escape, or you could go south. I think both of those are equally viable. Or if you wanted to be spicy, you could just be like, I'm going to Eastern. And like put on a show for us, you know? This is it's a Sunday Open. Yeah.
You gotta do it.
Yeah, you gotta do something special for us.
If you're on Restream, you gotta meme a bit.
Yeah, we don't want to see everybody do the safe choices. Go out and do Eastern Palace. There's probably a bow in there, right?
Right. And do Eastern before you even do Saha. Just make it an extra meme.
Yeah, exactly.
$1 from Race Game.
Exactly.
And Kieb's with the pretty good routing, too. Going to Kakariko before Escape means you're going to be able to knock out Escape with ease as well.
True. That is very convenient. Yeah, just take that sword, be able to do all of the front of Escape, and then later on you can do the back of Escape and know that you've done it already. And as a reminder, we did find at least a small key so far within the Escape sequence, quote unquote. So there's a map somewhere in there, but the rest is all items.
Kieb's going to be getting rewarded with that hook shot, though. Going to be happy with that.
Oh yeah, and gonna have the hook shot for the escape sequence. That's always good. I love the hook shot because it's such a good mobility item. Like, it's one of my favorite items in the game. I always, with quick swap nowadays, like always try to have it on default, just because I just subconsciously use it everywhere.
Absolutely, it saves a little bit of time here and there, a few frames here and there. It adds up.
Yep. All right. Escape sequence, and then everybody else, because they probably already went up to that area, as you were mentioning before, not going to double dip that escape or the Hyrule Castle area until it's Aga time, essentially.
Absolutely, and from the front of the dam, it looks like just a heart piece, and we have a hammer at the drain.
That's great. Okay, so we're just looking for the Moon Pearl then.
Absolutely.
All right, so so we have 3 different screens, technically 4, with Professor Renderer also dropping down, of people doing all new checks. So let's see what we got in the back of Escape and in Mini Moldorm. There's our map. In Mini Moldorm, a bottle. Uh-oh. That was our good old friend, the lamp. The lamp always has varying levels of excitability when you see it. It's nice to have because you know you're going to be able to do dark rooms without having to do any funky tricks or whatnot. But this early on, it's a little bit spooky.
So I've got a lamp from Mini Moldorm. Is that about all I missed?
That's all you missed was the lamp from Mini Moldorm, and pretty much we know there's an item in Dark Cross, which Professor Renderer is trying to find right now.
We're close to Dark World via Aga with a sword, or, of course, well, we need a Moon Pearl, I guess, but holy moly, alright, so Dark World through Aga, probably not likely.
Yeah, probably not going to happen, but who knows. And that magic powder is in logic knowing where the lamp is, so... And with the hammer... That is fully in logic, so maybe our Moon Pearl's there.
Could be. That'd be unfortunate.
Alright. I miss which dark place Kiebs went into. Are they doing a mountain climb? No, they're fighting snakes right now.
Dark Cross, I think.
Yeah, they're in Dark Cross. Oh! Hello, Speed Gaming. I am not French, but I know where you're coming from. Welcome. This is a Link to Past Randomizer. We're just having a good time doing the Sunday Open, which is kind of the most friendly version of a Link to Past Randomizer. So if this is something that you want to learn about, you're in a good place. Take a seat and enjoy some speedrunning with us. found a shovel coming out of Saha's closet.
Yet another check, but it can be done in combination with checking the bat, but Gibbs going to the back of escape right now.
Which I don't think there was anything there other than, like, we got info on, like, the maps back there, but... Let's see, who's doing something new? The shovel check from Josh. This is a good call. Whenever you get the shovel or the mushroom like this early on, you're much more likely to be gravitated towards those kind of checks versus as soon as you get the Dark World access, you're never going to do those things until you get like the mirror.
Another 3-hundo.
All right, well, okay. Well, we found all the money in the game. We found it. We did it. We can turn the stream off at this point. Don't.
Sub 10-minute money dream.
Yep. Alright. Who's the next to do something new or interesting? Everybody's basically covering everyone else's... Oh, there we go. Kibbs is going up the mountain. This is going to be our first check up there. Not a bad call. Hook shot. You can go up the mountain and then drop right back down and get everything out of Paradox. That's like 8 checks alone on the east side of the mountain that we have easy access to, even if it's, well, it is in logic because we know where the lamp is, but this is a fun one.
Absolutely. Probably going to get some sort of progression here.
Yeah. Oh, this means Tower of Hera is in logic because we also know where the hammer is.
Yep.
Yep. So this is maybe not going to work out super well for Kiebs because they're going to do all these checks up here, not be able to do Tower of Hera, which probably has Vanilla Moon Pearl. You know, classic. Who put that there? Assuming we don't die up in the mountain. But yeah, Kib's gonna do all the right side and not be able to go over to Tower of Hera without that hammer. Now on the flip side, Josh Bittner looking pretty good to get up there.
So the only 2 with powder are not equipped to actually check it.
Did I just miss something, or did Calvin go all the way through the back of Old Man? to go slightly up the mountain? Because I was looking over on their screen, I'm like, where are they? And then I was like, I've only seen that in Cross Keys.
I believe he did. Got to do it for a little bit of safety. 4 hearts. Those cabbages do 1 heart per hit.
Those cabbages can mess you up. Alright, what do we got, Paradox? Alright, nothing so far. Oh, we have Professor Renderer over in the desert, I'm just noticing.
Well, not going to get a Agahnim from anybody anytime soon. If it is something, very good.
Yeah, like, what if this is Moon Pearl? That would be super... Like, if I was making this play and I found Moon Pearl here, I'd be like, oh, thank heavens, I can put off the mountain forever now.
For the mirror!
So that's going to be probably pretty important as to who of these restreamed runners wins the race, because someone's going to be like, nah, I'm not going to go do a Gina.
The only item out of Paradox, a cape for Aga access.
Oh.
That could put Moon Pearl on Pyramid, however unlikely.
Did we see Spiral Cave?
I don't think so. We saved him quite out of Paradox.
Interesting. Okay. Well, we're about to see it from Calvin, so... And Calvin has the hammer, which means we're maybe going to see a Tower of Hera, and then either a Spike Cave or a Spiral Cave. You typically pick one. It's a choose-your-own-poison kind of thing.
Well, Render can have a better option here. He does have the mirror, making getting up Death Mountain again super easy, too.
Oh, true. Yep. Yeah, Render can just go straight up to Tower of Hera right now, if they wanted to. And then they can, that way, just route east, drop down through Spiral Cave, and then do the rest of Paradox all in one good, clean direction. Oh my gosh! Hello, Speed Gaming. Welcome for the raid. Welcome. Thank you for the raid for 115 people. We're doing our Sunday Open. A link to pass randomizer. It's just the most vanilla version of it that you can imagine. It's a good time if you just want to learn, listen to us talk shop, and watch these fantastic runners who are putting on a wonderful show for us. Thank you for joining us.
It's like Josh Bittner going to be the first into Hera. Oh wait, second. Calvin's in there. Gosh darn it, I missed that. Green pennant at TR. Another pennant at Meyer. Other pennant at Ice. Ouch.
Oh, good lord. All right.
3 pennants at the opposite sides of the world.
Yep. I mean, that could also be the best thing possible. Who knows? We won't know until it's too late. Let's see. Josh taking the death there. I'm not. I was watching Calvin for a second there. Oh, perfectly fine. But they're both in Tower of Hera. We'll see if Josh chooses to skip doing Hera Basement, which Calvin is doing right now. I think it's a good play, especially for Calvin when you don't know that the cape is available somewhere. But Josh, I would expect, knowing where the cape is on his person, probably going to go straight up like this, using the good old Fila pots setup.
So skipping anything at this point is questionable, but yeah, unless there's Moon Pearl and Big Chest, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. I'm one of those people who would I would hook shot or a Hera pop my way up the tower, hope for a progression up there, and then if I can possibly skip basement, I will do it. But, Calvin may just not know any of the Hera pot strategies. Oh, are we missing? Oh, yeah, we are missing a big key on Josh's side. So we will see what is in the big chest here. And maybe it's the Moon Pearl.
Right. It took about 8 seconds, but he kind of forgot that he didn't go to basement. But second item could be on Troll Dorm.
Yeah, because that was our first item, right? That blue rupee right there.
It was. I think it was a compass in the lobby. I don't remember seeing anything in the basement check though. What was that? The downstairs check. Hi, Pyro.
Oh no!
Oh, that's not good for Josh.
Oh, Josh, we were talking about how you're routing with that. Wait, was Josh wasn't the one who got the mirror, right? No, it was Renderer. Oh, I feel more bad for Renderer.
Well, it's only bad if they decide not to get the big key.
Oh,
the issue is that Fire Rod is only going to lock Skullwoods at this point. They don't have to get that because the Moon Pearl is going to be somewhere else, and that'll push him away from Hera. It could be last location Hera unless they go back in.
Yeah. So we've got 2 awful locations so far. We've got the mirror in Agahnim, and then we've got Fire Rod locked behind Hera basement. So that's wonderful. Ooh. Got this, Calvin. 3 good old smacks with the hammer, and you're good to go. Oh, Josh Bittner choosing to stick around while Professor Renderer, also understandably, chooses to peace out. We'll have to see how that plays out because 2 of these runners at least are going to have their Fire Rod. And we'll have to see what Kiebs does as well.
I feel pretty good for Calvin, though. If you know other runners, you're like, well, there's a decent shot. They're just going to hero pot that and not look back.
I would have been one of those runners. Alright. Kiebs, where do you go? Do you go get your Fire Rod, or...? I would imagine so, yeah. When you have so few checks left, you kind of gotta... And it's not going to be what you want right now, but you're going to want the Fire Rod in general.
Okay, this is good for Josh, going back up, not taking any chances, and Kiebs making the same choice.
Yep.
Render, though, oh gosh, when do you go back to Hera?
If we find the Moon Pearl, or basically it's going to be like a 50-50. Either Professor Renderer with that mirror goes, I guess the Moon Pearl could be up there, and they go up there, get their fire rod, or they write it off, and from there, it's dead. It's last location.
Well, looking at what we've got, the only other things pulling you back up Death Mountain would be either Spike Cave or just Dark Death Mountain in general eventually. But if you don't check, oh gosh, you have TR you hope never to have to go into.
Right. And Dark Death Mountain, at least Professor Render does have that mirror, so if they do Dark Death Mountain and they're in a space where they're like, where's that fire rod? Where's that fire rod? They can just mirror the Tower of Hera. So that's at least nice. That's not an option the other runners would have had to have faced because none of them have the mirror. They all just have fire rod instead.
And Kib's getting a couple of bombs off a sick kid.
Thanks, kid.
Kid, what are you doing with those?
Yeah, it's more like we're confiscating the explosives from the child.
Right? Kid, I know you've got it. Give it to me. But looks like Calvin gonna go get that mirror, not immediate progression. But good choice, no less. Render probably making the play towards that Moon Pearl, or it just could be on Pyramid.
Yeah, it's. Oh my gosh, you're right. It could just be on Pyramid. I think they're going to Pyramid. Because they just saved and quit out of Saha's, and I don't think they have anything else to do. Oh, the shovel. I think that was our first look at Desert Ledge. Just 20 rupees. Nothing special.
So basically, it's either Eastern or Pyramid at this point.
Josh looks like they're going to make the front of escape into Agahnim play, which I think at this point, yeah, that's just the way you go. When your options that you haven't done are walk all the way over to Agina or walk all the way over to Sick Kid, unless Josh was the one who did that. Yeah. Oh, and Magic Bat also exists, chat pointing out. Yep. Or actually, Mad Ewok heard pointing out in who's our tracker, one of our trackers for today. That is also an option. But that's also a bad, dumb check where you just have to walk all the way over for that one thing.
So Kiebs and Calvin, what are they gonna do? And meanwhile, Render making that bad play.
Well, they're both about to get... I think this is Shuffler, right? Yeah, right there.
There it is. Moon Pearl on that.
Hey! There we go. So, I can't imagine Josh not completing the rest of this. Like, once you're in here, you're gonna take that death from the ball and chain guard, and then... Or after the ball and chain guard, and then just go up and do Agahnim, because... You can with your current loadout. Yeah, setting up for the Death Warp. That is with every intention of going back up. Alright, well, we're going to at least get a view of what's in Eastern Palace. There could still be something spectacular in here. Not my favorite play, only because it's a crystal, and I personally hate double-dipping crystal dungeons when I can help it, but you know what? Maybe the bow's in here, like I said earlier.
Could be. Looks like both Calvin and Kiebs are making the same play.
Professor Renderer choosing to approach the Dark World from the north first. Do you have a preference of how you approach the Dark World? Oh my gosh!
Wow. Commentator's curse? Commentator's blessing? I don't know.
We found, folks, the bow was in Eastern.
So that's a beatable Eastern and pod logically.
Oh, good lord. Okay, so that's going to have an impact on things because whenever they do get their Dark World access, they can just walk over to pod.
Yeah, no kidding. Depends on my gear outset to answer your question. In their particular case, I would almost approach it from Hype Cave West with the mirror, at least Renderer's point of view. With the mirror, then you've got all the way to the west. You can pretty much take care of all those checks mirror and then go to Village of Outcasts after checking South Dark World, but that's from Renderer's perspective with a mirror. But not looking from Renderer's perspective, I think starting from Outcast and doing a fully clearable Thieves Town and Outcast area, nothing with it.
Yeah, that mirror, man, I can't imagine anybody else getting that mirror until someone finds a book that tells them finally go to the desert area. Because everyone else is going to be waiting to find the mirror with the flute in the midst to justify trying to get into that desert area. And we know that the book is not probably going to be the thing, but maybe we'll find it. I don't know.
I think two of our runners have the mirror. Who was it that was just in desert? Was that Calvin?
I don't think. Oh, what did Calvin? Oh, Calvin does have the mirror. You're correct.
Yeah, you were talking about the desert ledge check a little bit ago.
Yeah.
Darn Vanilla Bakey. Meanwhile, Professor Renderer gets a heart piece from Thieves Town. Did not catch the first two checks, though.
Neither did I. I don't think they picked up anything super important. Trackers help us. But we'll catch it on the next the inventory pull up.
Looks like third item in Eastern is going to be on Armos Knights. Very friendly light world, though, if you ride it right.
That's a very big if, though.
Pretty much. Like, having to go to Eastern for your bow is a pretty big troll.
If you god route this seed, it's pretty easy, right?
Right.
Anyway, we're getting our first look at a hype cave. Woo!
There's a red stick. That was about it.
Yeah, it was, yeah. A red stick that you could throw.
But we got a Armos fight from Kiebs and Armos Knight coming up from Calvin.
Yeah, these two runners fairly in sync for at least the past few minutes. Even prior to coming to Eastern Palace. Oh! Calvin, that's a wall.
With the exception of Kiebs does not have mirror.
Yeah.
But regardless, that's crystal number 2 for both, sub 28 minutes.
I think that was, unless I'm delusional, that was a full heart container that we just saw on Professor Renderer's side, so nothing exciting there. Look away for 1 second. I missed what was on Stumpy.
That was Ether.
Ether! Oh, there we go. That could be very useful.
Looks like Kieb's making their way towards Moon Pearl, assuming they go from the shovel up to Kakariko. Josh Bittner's at Dig Game. Looks like Calvin's following in Kieb's footsteps, and Renderer is finishing up Thieves.
Small key, that's perfectly fine. We have a hammer, so... Yep. Put it on and let's get on with it. What do you got for us, Dig Game? Wow. Okay, with 20 rupees.
20 bucks!
Woo!
So, Skullwoods Thieves Town combo, Pod Eastern, Hera. You don't have much of this seed left right now. You need a way to get to desert.
Yeah.
But otherwise, Swamp Palace, you need. What do we need? One sword, flippers,
Flippers. Yep.
a glove.
Yep. We need the mitts, regardless. Funny enough, we need the mitts to get into Ganon's tower.
Right. And there's a 50-50 shot we're probably going to need boots for desert, but let's find a book or a flute first and mitts. In all honesty, if I were the runners, I just prefer getting that book. Flute just is, I mean, it's good, but opening up Mire eventually,
It didn't look like there was anything in Thieves Town. I did just see some bombs come off of a blind there. But hey, Professor Ender, getting Thieves Town done.
So here's where Render is going to start getting a few issues here. You're going to route south, you're going to clear out everything and get nothing except ether.
Yep.
You're going to possibly make your way up to Pyramid Pod, maybe near into Eastern at that point, but that's a huge time sink.
Yeah, you're doing the world tour without the dwarf. Like, this is something I would love to do if I had the mitts. Because the mitts allows you to grab Jeremiah, our good friend who is actually a dwarf in the blacksmith shop, and take him all the way up to Catfish and then save and quit and just drop him off afterwards.
Right, where's the mitts though? Probably Pod at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we are going to see K45 for the first time.
True, and there's also Skull Woods, there's Graveyard Ledge.
Yeah, but Skull Woods was the other way. Alright, Kieb's getting their map check in. And hey, Skull Woods, let's find out. Josh is going to help us along with this discovery journey. And is this Calvin making the Agahnim play? Because I think it's going to go that way, because I think they're going to go into here. They have the mirror, can quickly get back to the entrance, and they have the ability to do pod. So, or at least that's probably what I'm assuming they're thinking. Is like, oh, Moon Pearl's probably right on Pyramid Ledge, and I'm going to go into pod.
Where was Powder again?
What was? Oh, Powder. Powder was in Dark Cross.
Okay, so he's about to get that, but oh my gosh, with so few checks, do you go do that before you do Aga?
Yeah. Do you leave the place where Aga is? Yes, we do.
Apparently we do. I mean, Calvin's bought some time. You went to Eastern early, you got a bow. Nothing else, but at the same time, we were like, well, that's a pretty good play. Render about to get the bad news about Johnny Two Bombs.
What do you mean? You're gonna get a nice little throwable red stick. It's great.
And he gives them the bombs. Well done, Render.
Okay, so maybe I was wrong. Maybe I thought he'd be excited to find it, but prove me wrong, Professor Renderer.
Okay, I approve, Renderer. Well done. 4 bombs going towards Hype Cave and Johnny. Well played.
Yeah, giving Johnny 2 bombs. What's worth? Yep, throw away that B.
I don't think.
Oh, there we go. Making use of that bug net.
To answer a question in chat, I don't think we can give the lead to anybody at this point, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, nobody's in the lead right now. We're in a race where certain people are missing very important items. Like, if you look at any one corner, someone's missing either the fire rod or the mirror or what have you.
Moon Pearl.
Or the Moon Pearl. I know, I think everyone has a Moon Pearl now, but...
Yeah, Calvin just picked it up and showed the Magic Badu's boss, just like Render.
Yep. So, both the fire rod and the mirror are in terrible locations. Calvin has both of those, but also has only done the one dungeon so far. Didn't someone else do Eastern Palace?
We had 2 runners who did Eastern, I believe. We had both Kiebs and Calvin.
Oh, so Calvin has done 2 dungeons. Maybe Calvin's in the lead. I don't know. It's still way too early to call.
Yeah, dungeon-wise, Josh, I guess I would give a slight advantage to finishing up Skull. But at the same time, with Eastern holding your first bow, theoretically, it's hard to say.
Yeah.
Oh,
Josh. Wait, was Josh the one who just picked up a fairy?
No.
No. It was Kiebs who picked up the fairy.
So maybe Kiebs has the lead now. I guess if we're going to give the runner to a lead to a runner here.
Well, except Kiebs doesn't have the mirror, so...
Yeah.
How long until Kiebs does that?
So far, the mirror has not led to anything, except, of course, we know we'll need it eventually for Swamp.
Yeah. It's just in a bad place.
But if you can find a book and pod, that'll lead you right towards that mirror.
Mothula not playing nice with this fight for either runners. Kiebs at least has the fairy, or can just kill Mothula. That's fine too. That's a way to survive.
Easiest of fights every time. Well done, kids.
Yeah.
Picking up Crystal number 3 at 35 minutes. That's a good pace right there. Gibbs going to finish off this area, go down to Thieves, pick up Crystal number 4. Then pick Crystal number 5, hanging out at Pod. I mean, you've got a good ride ahead of you. You just got to get that mirror.
Now, here's a question. Professor Renderer, how did they choose to end up in Eastern Palace? They have the Moon Pearl. I'm just surprised that they were just like, YOLO!
No, they
Eastern Palace.
Renderer went into Pod briefly. I think he got bow locked out when that mirrored.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
But he's going to be rewarded.
Well, I mean, already was rewarded with that bow. So now they're going to be able to go right back into the mirror portal then, and then right back into Pod.
Right, and of course we know Renderer's crux right now is that Hera basement into Big Chest right now.
Yep. Didn't see anything on Cape Ledge. I mean, if there was something, I'm sure Josh would have gone for it with the cape that they have, but...
So what are we looking at right now? We're looking at Catfish, Graveyard Ledge, or Pod with progression.
Pretty much, yeah. We're kind of waiting on either Flippers to help us out with some more checks, Mitts to help us out with some more checks, and maybe Boots to help us out with some more checks. Alright. Everyone's kind of retracing each other's steps for the time being.
Alvin caught a fairy though, good call.
Yep.
Let's take this time to remind everybody. Don't forget to follow these runners, they're putting on a fantastic show.
Yeah, this is something we, they volunteer the times. This is, when I've been featured in the past, I sometimes, it's a little bit more stressful knowing that there's a bunch of eyes on me. Like, we had 2 raids back to back of combining up to almost 200 people. That's a lot more than I get my personal stream. So, it takes a little bit of courage to be like, yeah, put me on display for me and Lana to talk about for 2 hours.
While we're at it, don't forget to follow my co-com Slumberjack, Nightwalk Herd, and Tagger, our trackers today. Give them a follow too. Links are in the chat there.
Alright, Professor Renderer, what are you going to show us in Pod? Wow, everyone else is all in Thieves Town right now. So someone was asking before, who's in the lead? Maybe now it's Professor Renderer. That's how quickly this can go. It's like it can go in any direction whatsoever this early on. Alright, getting our first look at the right side of Pod.
You know what we never thought of at this point?
What?
Pyramid Fairy. Eastern and Hera.
Oh, that is a potential, yeah. And we have we have 3 runners who have already done those, so I'm surprised they didn't do that before, say, well, Professor Renderer... Did Professor Renderer not do it? That's surprising because I would imagine, like, if you're going to do Pyramid Fairy... Oh, Eastern Palace, he didn't do it until he went to the pod area. That's why. That makes a lot more sense to me. Because all the other runners did Eastern separately from pod. But hey, maybe Professor Renderer runs in that direction immediately after this. But he gets a blue stick out of pod.
Well, that's your cape, but well, gosh darn, I guess you could go up to Spike. You have 2 at this point with enough health. 2 safeties, bottle, oh gosh, could be that.
Yeah, I mean, everyone has the cape at this point, so that blue stick does very, very little for us, especially when blind is already dead. Like, that's like the one thing I can think of is like, that would be nice in case I mess up the blind script. Oh, and Professor Renderer having a little pause. Fortunate, because that's the only place where the most relevant new information is. We already know Thieves Town is nothing.
It's how it is.
What, a coordinated effort between 10 to 15 people trying to make this thing work? Not gonna happen every single time. It's gonna have a little break. Oh, hey, ooh. Oh, yeah, Calvin, you were a little bit too close there. All right, I hope everybody really likes Thieves Town because okay, we've got Professor Renderer back. I have no idea what we found, so we're gonna have to hope for a pause menu. I think I did just see a blue boomerang. Oh, and there it is. So we do have our mitts now.
Oh, I missed mitts in the pod? Okay.
Yep, it was in the big chest.
Oh, Calvin, I think we took a death in Thieves Town, unfortunately.
Oh. Yeah, Calvin, I did see trying to catch a fairy, but they accidentally powdered it, like, on top of the fairy. So they weren't able to bottle it, and I know they were trying to do that. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, especially Thieves Town, because, like, it's a bit of a hike. If they died before doing the attic, that's bad. Otherwise, they can just turn around right here. Yeah, exactly. So not too bad of a death, all things considered, since you can just turn around right there, as they did.
Uh-oh, picked that
think
did it again!
Yeah, yep. I saw it as soon as it happened. I was like, uh-oh. So those mitts will give Professor Renderer the opportunity to think about going up that mountain, doing Super Bunny Cave, Hookshot Cave, and then maybe mirror into Hera. No, I don't think it's going to happen, but maybe that's what it takes for them to get their fire rod. We'll find out in a little bit, but
it's the best opportunity. I mean, what else does Mids do for you? You have no access to Ice Palace, either by out of logic or otherwise.
Yep.
So, I mean, if you find nothing in Hookshot Cave or anything else, then hopefully you do that, and then maybe Pyramid Fairy.
You could do, oh no, you can't even do King's Tomb. You don't have boots. Yeah, no, you're right. I guess you could do Blacksmith Chain.
Well, you do have a mirror, at least if you're a renderer or if you're Calvin. Otherwise, the other renderers are a little bit deterred from that. Alright, renderer taking down Helmasaur pretty easily.
Yeah, we've got 3 boss fights going on right now.
Josh getting revenge on Mothula. And Calvin taking a death up blind. No.
And Josh taking another death. Wait, did Josh... Yes, okay, Josh did pick up a fairy this time.
Round 2, let's do this. Josh not pulling out the hammer. There we go. Alright.
He pulls out the hammer, yep. Just squat.
And Kieb's about to also be disappointed with the red stick of destiny.
It does look like Professor Renderer, having what they have on their person, they're going to make that call to go over to Pyramid. That's what I'm assuming is happening right now.
And as Madewalk heard is saying in chat, there is a second sword up on Floating Island on Death Mountain, so Renderer can go get that anytime he wants to.
Oh, that's true. Well, okay, well, Renderer proving me wrong. Oh, we have to get the big bomb first.
Yeah, we're doing Pyramid Fairy right away. Okay.
No, I like this. This is great.
Kind of. If it does have progression, that could put you elsewhere. That's not great for Renderer. You want him to be forced up Death Mountain. You want him to be forced into check in Hera again. But there's not much which could be deterring him from going many other places. I mean, worst case, it's flippers. You go in a swamp, you full clear it. Maybe find more progression. But the issue, like we said before, Fire Rod, the only thing it lacks is the back of Skull at this point.
Yep. Yeah. Back of Skull, and if that wasn't a thing, I mean, I guess, depending on Professor Renderer's comfortability, we could just forego Fire Rod altogether and do some, bomb jumps here and there to negate its necessity. Could be that Fire Rod is not needed for, say, right side GT.
But you kind of need your Fire Rod to get actually into the back of Skull for your crystal.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. I was thinking cross keys for some reason.
Gotcha.
I haven't been playing too much cross keys lately where I'm like, oh, I don't actually need Fire Rod this seed to do Skull Woods. No, you're right. Gotta open that door.
Here. Alright, I think Render has given us a catfish check. That's, I think, new.
Yep, and then we did see, I don't know where that Master Sword came from on Renderer. I only saw the blue mail come out of Pyramid Fairy. And Pyramid Ledge was 20 rupees, so maybe it was blue mail and a Master Sword.
Well, it means Render, if he remembers, knows where Temperate is.
True.
There's really not a boss fight, which makes you need much beyond Fighter Sword, but with what he has going on, Dark Death Mountain's looking pretty good.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
this is definitely a situation where I'd be like, up the mountain I go. Because, between Hookshot Cave and Super Bunny, that's at least 6 items. And then you have the option of doing either Spike Cave or if you dare Hera Basement. And then you also get information on, like, at least what are the unlock requirements for TR, Turtle Rock. Oh, some more money.
I think that's our last 3 hundo. No,
Yep.
nobody's been scammed yet. Don't think we've seen Zora, I think.
This is our first look at Zora. Everybody else is just kind of retracing steps, and Renderer is kind of running away with this one at the moment. Or at least the only one who's showing us anything new, or is at least the first one for the past, 10 minutes, so...
Two of our runners are in pod right now, so that glove will be coming soon.
Yep. Which also means they're not far behind, because Renderer is doing checks that are basically encouraged by having either the mitt or just being in close proximity to Pyramid Ledge and stuff like that. Because one of these runners could get the mitts and then not do Pyramid Ledge and instead just start doing some other checks. Or just go up the mountain, basically, because I think we just talked about that. That's like the one place they could go with those mitts.
It was just a full hard container off of Zora, not much going on.
Yeah, Catfish giving us money and then Zora taking it away.
Alright, so if you're a fan of Renderer, you want not a lot of progression to be pushing him elsewhere. You want him to be kind of forced into Hera for that Fire Rod. But at this point, progression's looking like it's going to be up here.
Yeah, what are we going to find? Because we know the Fire Rod doesn't have, other than the boss, who doesn't have anything, there's got to be something else that's going to point you to another dungeon that you can... It's going to be something like Flipper. It's going to be Flippers, I bet.
Flippers would get you Swamp, that's true.
Yeah.
Could be Flute to get you Logical Desert / Mire area.
Oh, that's true as well. Oh, I missed that first item.
Okay, we're about to be able to get a closer look on Pyramid Fairy on Calvin's side. I think that's probably where you said we saw that sword.
Yeah, there's a blue mail on the left, and then...
Or not.
Rupees, where was the sword?
Oh, Pod it seems, because Kiebs has that as well.
Okay, so we missed the sword because that was during the period where they were paused.
Yeah, I think that must have been it.
That would do it. So no one missed it. It's just we couldn't see it when it happened.
Exactly. We missed it, we just didn't miss it.
Another bottle up on the mountain.
The fairy in it. Oh, hi, Boots.
Oh, hello, Boots. I guess that's maybe what we're doing. And then Professor Ender, going to get that tempered sword.
Okay, Renderer, you need to stay up on Death Mountain. You need to go towards Hera and go in.
I don't know. Those boots are looking pretty tempting to get into King's Tomb.
It's only 2 checks right now, though.
It's 2 checks versus Hera Basement. That's for 1 check.
And Spike Cave, I guess.
Oh, and Spike Cave. Okay, so...
Renderer's staying here, though.
Alright.
Okay, about to have our 3rd runner enter pod. Renderer, no!
Well, guess we know what's happening on, So, it looks like Renderer is far ahead right now, but man, that Fire Rod, I think, is going to allow everybody else who's currently all in the same place, they're all going to catch up pretty quickly, because I think Renderer is writing off that Fire Rod until the very end.
So, for anybody who doesn't know, Fire Rod is hanging out in big chest of Hera, locked by the basement with the big key. 3 of her runners did it, 1 did not.
Oh!
Ooh, Renderer!
Renderer, where are we going?
Hera. It can only be Hera, right?
I can't imagine why you would leave here unless you're going into Hera. Hera, wait, Professor Renderer, are you stream sniping right now?
Do it, Renderer. Go into Hera.
Do one wacky spin on stream if you're stream sniping right now. Don't. You'll get banned so fast. For stream sniping, not for doing a funny little spin.
Plus, the stream's like 45 seconds behind here, so, you know.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so...
Okay, this is good.
This is good for Professor Renderer. So, this is everything Professor Renderer really needs at this moment, because other than that, I think progression has to be locked behind boots. It's either going to be, what? The flute to get into desert, flippers to get into swamp, and then is that it?
Yeah. I'd give the slight edge right now to Kiebs. Kiebs is going to be going up Death Mountain right now, going to get boots. Or not. Oh, are we doing Pyramid Fairy now?
I mean, that makes sense. Yeah, Pyramid Fairy into Catfish.
So Josh does elect to go ahead and open TR just in case.
Chat asking, where's Samaria?
He could be in GT, we don't know.
Yep, stay tuned. We may not ever need it because both Misery Mire and Turtle Rock are pendants. So we may never see the Samaria at all.
So Renderer's going to feel a little bit bad at this point fighting that Fire Rod, but at the same time, it's really not that bad. All the other winners have done the exact same checks.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's going to be more of a sigh of relief that, okay, I at least did this eventually. Even when I had the boots and had other places I can go, I at least did get my Fire Rod.
So Render, first time doing a hero pot setup I've never seen before. Didn't quite get the dash, though.
I've seen it before, I just don't think it has like a name to it. I've heard in the past like month or two there's an even newer setup, and I was surprised when people were like, "Oh, you're still doing the Philopot setup," like as if it was old hat kind of thing. There's apparently a new setup.
Which Renderer did the newer setup, but his first setup was something where he tossed a bomb and it bounced off a ledge, and he tried to run into the blast to, I presume, push him at a good angle, but it didn't quite work. So he did use the newer strat as backup.
Yeah. All right, so Professor Renderer taking that Fire Rod. Has Professor Renderer been in Skullwoods?
I don't think so.
Yeah, because they went south from Thieves Town the first time they were there.
Yeah, has not made his way back up here.
Okay, so that means they're also just covering the same track, so they're not going to be skipping any checks in here whatsoever.
And plus with Tempered, whew.
Yeah, they're going to be the one person who goes in there with a Tempered Sword and doesn't die to Mothula.
There's that sword. It's in the dark room right outside in Pond.
Oh, okay.
It only took 4 runners for me to see it. Hi, Half Magic at King's Tomb.
Oh, that's nice. So now we just need silvers to make this a silly, easy seed. Because while I'm sure these runners all with Tempered Sword will do perfectly fine against Ganon, if you forget about Mothula for a moment, they'll all do great against Ganon with the Tempered Sword. But silvers will just make it super easy.
True.
There's our flippers. Yep.
Flippers. So Render is extremely lucky.
Yes.
I believe that's his go mode, unless he needs Kane.
Yeah, unless we need Kane for right side. But at that point, there's not much of a gamble.
We have no into desert. My bad.
Oh, yeah, we still need flute or book. Which, if it's book, that's good for Josh and Kiebs. Because they're going to go over there with the book, do Desert Palace, and then do Agahnim, or vice versa. And that will put them into relative go mode. Once Josh finds the bow and, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, my assumption at this point is Swamp just has to have the last bit of progression or something which leads to it.
Yep. Okay, Josh doing the waterfall checks. So we are in no mode minus potential Samaria, right?
Book or flute.
Oh, that's right. Book or flute. Book or flute.
So close. Probably, like I said, hiding out in Swamp Palace.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. True. Always be clearing dungeons. A, B, C, D. Alright, so Kiebs is going to get the boots, and then eventually the flippers, and they don't need to stay up here for more than Spike Cave. Professor Render clearing up this, and then really doesn't have too many options left other than doing the boot checks, I guess, because they got their fire rod a little bit later. And then we got Josh, who I guess just needs to go into Swamp Palace? Oh, and eventually Eastern Palace to get their bow.
Oh my gosh.
So we all have runners who have like one very specific thing they need to do.
So Josh went into pod, got the mitts, didn't beat it, of course, because no bow. Oh gosh. So Josh is about to get the mirror, though.
Right, which would have saved them so much time, because had they, they did dip pod, had they had the mirror all that time, they could have just gone right back in and done the same thing.
This is pretty bad as well, because let's assume that Desert Access is in Swamp. He is going to have Swamp Access right now. So if Swamp has a bow and another piece of progression, then that could be really good for him. But otherwise, if all it has is, say, if it doesn't have anything, then he's pushing to Ice Palace, which has, so let's say, a book or a flute. That bow could be a ways off for Josh, unfortunately.
Yeah, and is he pushing the Ice Palace? Because Mirror by itself comes with a bunch of checks. You finish Swamp Palace, you can just start doing like K45, Graveyard Ledge, King's Tomb. Like, there's a lot you can like route in all together at the same time that way.
Well, and he orphaned everything else up there with no mirror. So one, Josh is just realizing, oh my gosh, I need to go to Dark World to actually get into Swamp. Two, he's kind of isolated Graveyard, unfortunately, having already gone up there, gotten King's Tomb and everything.
Yeah.
Alright, so Renderer getting his flippers.
As is, yep, both Kiebs and Renderer at the same exact time, basically.
And Renderer going back to Dark World, I presume, to check Graveyard and King's Tomb.
But does Renderer need anything else?
Yeah, we're still looking for a way in the desert.
Oh, good lord, yes! How many times am I going to ask this question?
When you're watching 4 runners, I completely understand.
Well, at least we're going to get some new checks coming out from Josh, being the first person to go into Swamp Palace. Hey, maybe Commentator's Curse ×2. Maybe there's a bow in here.
Could be.
Could be.
You know where it'd be in Swamp, though, if there was.
I do indeed. But hey, with the options left to Josh, I think maybe there's a bow, somewhere in here, right?
Could be.
Well, that's a map. That's called Go to Left Side Swamp.
So another curious thing. Unfortunately for Josh, he went up Death Mountain earlier, got the boots, all that stuff. He didn't have his mirror, so he does not have Tempered. He has to grab that probably on the way to GT.
Oh. Are there any boss fights left that really require it, though?
Not really. I mean, nothing.
You could do a slightly quicker Argus, a slightly quicker not even a slightly quicker land, but you just fire all that down. Yeah, you could save 5 seconds on doing Argus. Like, that's it.
And depending on your comfort level with Ganon, probably that's about the only thing you'd want it for.
Yeah, I mean, you would be getting it on the way to Ganon, so. Alright, we're grabbing the small key. Where are we going with that small key, Josh? Are we skipping left side swamp?
To be continued.
To be continued. I know a lot of runners like to go, like, if they are fully intentionally going to do left side swamp, they go up instead. But
I have stupid rules when it comes to swamp.
Yeah, we all do. No one doesn't have stupid rules when it comes to swamp. It's a stupid dungeon when it comes to routing.
Basically, if I'm go -1, I will do the south check, go north, come back and do west side. Left side, I should say.
Yeah.
If I am go minus any more than 1, Josh, what are you doing? Are you getting your key? If I'm go minus any more than 1, and if I get a map or compass before left side, I will go ahead and go freely left side.
Yeah. It does seem like we're going to get a left side check out of it, or at least we're preparing for it in the event that something's not in the back. But Josh is also still missing 2 items, so I can't imagine this isn't going to be just a traditional left side swamp check.
That's the flippers for Calvin. And Josh trapping himself in. Oh well, just walking through the spikes. Interesting thing here, though, that we didn't mention. Look where Kiebs is.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, we did mention it. It's just... we'll find out, I guess. Oh, yeah, because Kiebs hasn't gone to Agahnim.
Yeah, so if he finds Flute here, if he finds Flute, this is good. Because that'll push him in a desert area, Agahnim. Hopefully not going to Mire if it is Ether. Because we know TR is Ether.
Kiebs, don't you act like I didn't see those 3 failed hook shots. I noticed them.
Josh, what do you got? Blue mail, which we know is red mail.
Yep. And... oh.
$20.
20 bucks. Yep, and we don't have Red Cane either, so we have to do the Ice Palace bomb jump, do everything here. Oh. It's a little awkward, that's fine. We have to do everything here the slow way. So now we got 2 people in Swamp, 1 in Ice, and then Calvin clearing up Skullwoods.
Gosh, please. It's safer just to try and open the chest if you don't have the big key. The text is slightly faster than menuing. Just saying.
Oh, that's not a perfect setup, Kiebs. Just a pixel off. You need to go a little bit down. So for people who want to learn this jump, you want the side of your sword to have a 1 pixel difference between it and the bomb's shadow.
And sorry about that. Go ahead and finish.
Yeah, I was saying that looks good as soon as he did it.
So we never mentioned it, but as of note here, Calvin is some sort of little duckling, which looks pretty adorable, but Render is a sprite of his own creation. Dr. Grizzleton, I think. Professor Grizzleton? Anyway, Josh Bittner is also using a sprite of his own creation, a version of Vitreous.
Oh, I didn't know it was their own creation. I knew about renderers, but...
And there is a Vitreous sprite out there. I think this is just a reworking of his own version.
Oh, gotcha.
Red Mail is particularly interesting. Because it looks like you get Ben Stein be like, use your clear eyes! Because it's all red and irritated. Looks like you forgot to take your contacts out all night.
Do have 2 people in the Argus fight. I did notice 1 item come out of Swamp Palace, and that was a mushroom. So that could become something.
And yet, ew, we have no flute. We have no easy way up there that's super quick.
And I guess we got a big key. I know that we found a map in that first chest, the bombable chest. I don't know if we caught the compass or not. I would assume so. Okay. Yep, we did find the compass. So Professor Render, right back in.
And Josh Bittner trying Fire Rod strats, Argus not behaving. There we go, last 2 hits. And Vitreous has a big key. Oh,
Yep.
crap. Oh,
I
that's
mean,
right.
Professor Render is going back in for the big key.
Right.
Or the big chest, yep. So we knew that already. Well. Oh, but Professor Render didn't do left side. They gambled straight to the back.
Yeah, Render went in after Josh, but gambled back to instead of the front.
All right, Kibbs, what do you got for us? Oh, you're going all the way back up. Guess the key layout was awkward. Gosh, when I'm in like 1 item from go mode. Oh, there are 2 items from go mode. Never mind. You're doing fine, Kibbs.
So Render is the closest to go mode.
Yes, 100%. Kibbs just needs to go wherever the flute or the book are. And then all the other runners have like a thing or 2 that they're missing. Because Calvin is also pretty close, but they're just like maybe a dungeon behind or something. All right, a map from Ice Palace. Oh. All right. Okay. Is this our first look at Blacksmith Chain?
It is from 2 runners at the same time.
Yeah, I'm just noticing that. And there must be a 3rd item on Vidi because we have Kiebs dropping into the fight.
Uh-oh, getting away. Those posts. Oy.
That's fine. We got half magic. We got blue mail. It's not going to be the fastest fight now, but...
Hobo chat coming up from Render. I don't remember seeing that from Kiebs.
I don't remember. I feel like we did see Hobo. I feel like someone did Hobo. Well, I could be wrong. Maybe Flute's right here, and I just haven't been paying attention. Yeah, I am. And then Calvin taking the walk with the purple chest, which to me reminds me that they probably have not done K45.
Yeah, I think if they did, they'd probably save and quit and head south, so I'm thinking that's probably right.
Yep.
So unfortunately, Ice Palace did not pay out, which tells us that Smith Chain or the Mushroom.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those, or we find the Samaria and uh-oh.
Well, not Smith Chain.
The mushroom?
I'm trying to think if there's anything else we've missed.
I think it has to be the mushroom turn-in.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's Ice Rod Cave. Did we ever see that from anybody?
I'm sure someone did it. I would be very surprised if that happened. Yeah. Okay, so our tracker is confirming that we did see Ice Rod Cave. I'm pretty sure we've seen Graveyard Ledge, though. Someone did it. I know Professor Renderer was up there with the mirror at some point, and I'd be surprised if they just were like, not today.
As our tracker said, a shield at Ice Red Cave, aka an evil shield. Shields are evil, chat. Well, Render looking for the last piece of his puzzle here. Gonna go into Ice Palace.
Unfortunate. Again, without that Samaria, it's a bit of a hassle, but, you know, maybe all the runners have to deal with this.
Well, who's gonna be the first to turn in the mushroom?
I mean, it could... I think it might be Josh who does it first. They're the closest right now.
Well, they're on the way up now.
Yeah. Yep.
Are we gonna mirror, or are we gonna forget and go to Catfish for our 3 hundo? Okay, mirror is selected, so looks like our mushroom turn-in first coming from Josh. Which is a little more unfortunate. If it is our progression, say book or flute, then that'll push him off eastern even more.
Yeah. Gosh, if it's flute and then like Misery Mire ends up being ether. Oh no.
Head is dead at this point, and that is a no mode. That's no mode for us, chat. So flute and mushroom turn in.
Yeah, and Josh not immediately going in to turn in that flute because Josh still needs the bow. So
Which is just chilling in Eastern Palace, but it looks like we may go to Desert and Hera.
I'm still surprised that 3 of our 4 runners YOLO'd Eastern Palace at one point or another to get that bow.
I wouldn't even say like 2 of our runners did. I would say Render not so much because didn't have Fire Rod at the time either.
Oh, true.
But had the mirror, so convenience kind of pushed him there, I think.
Yeah.
All right, Calvin, what are you going to do with that mushroom? You could be the first one in to go.
He keeps finding that mirror and he's like, what?
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate, but gonna go into swamp, gonna be on the path to go mode.
Someone was asking in chat, where was the mushroom? It was in Swamp Palace. In the back.
Yep. Calvin just picked it up a minute ago.
Yeah.
Well, okay, we should say go mode with an asterisk as well. If right side GT is required, we need Samaria, which can only be in so many places, very likely GT at this point.
Yeah. And I mean, that's how I would imagine these runners are going to play it, is when there's so many checks on the left side available to you in GT, you're not going to be like, oh, what if I did Misery Mire? No, you're going to do GT and hope that the Samaria is there, and then hope you just don't get completely robbed and find out that it actually is in Misery Mire all this time. Although we don't have Bombos for Misery Mire, so even that's not an option.
We have Ether, that's about it. We don't know what I think the Mire requirement is. Oh yeah, we do Bombos, never mind. I didn't realize Josh was already there. Looking for a bow!
That's not a bow.
Okay, Calvin is making the move.
Oh, yep.
But he didn't swim.
I mean, that's fine. It's
He just wanted that 50-50. I got him.
all right. And is this our first person in go mode?
It is.
Hey, hour 19, 45 seconds ish.
Most likely go mode. Pseudo go mode, if you will.
Oh, yeah. We'll just pretend that we don't need the Samaria. You know. Who needs Samaria?
Only people who need to get to right side GT and our backup Meyer, which won't be a thing.
Well, it may not be a thing for these runners. Who knows?
Can you imagine that? Bombos and Tiara to get a Meyer for your cane? That's disgusting.
Oh, well, now that you say it, you know.
I'm just saying it's a possibility, however slim.
It does exist.
So Calvin pretty much has a jet desert to go through. If I were Calvin, probably going to go ahead and dig out both those items just in case Samaria pops up. But then you're going straight to GT.
Yep.
And that could be it. There are 5 checks in GT we do not have access to without Meyer or without that Samaria.
Yep. All right, Desert, what do you got for us? Anything? Anything to make this spicy?
Well, and with Calvin going straight for desert, not even checking Meyer shot, not checking checkerboard, you gotta presume we're just hoping for the best.
Yep. All right, small key. So chances are big key. Oh, it poked. Josh has already been here for a while. So where was the big key?
I was not paying attention, unfortunately, but I think we're about to find out. Good fire rod strats from Josh Bittner at that fight. Looks like big key's right side. In fact,
Yep.
It looks like both items are going to be, or what's going to be one item in big chest, one item right side.
Yep. Yeah, as we saw, simultaneously because of the map and the compass on the left side, or the left side of the screen here that we're looking at.
Oh, we haven't seen big chest from Josh. And Calvin not taking any chances. So the last thing that you want to be here for Josh is Samaria.
Yeah, I think they're taking... Okay, Josh was just taking a moment to reassess. What do I need? Yeah, Calvin just being careful. It's here. Oh, okay. Do we need Quake?
We do not.
Okay, well, hey, at least now, peace of mind, peace of comfort. You found the item in desert.
Okay, Josh Bittner reassessing what's going on here. Looks like we're not using the flute, so Eastern seems unlikely. We're not going to IS, are we? Josh, no! Go into your pendant, go into your crystal! Josh!
No, I mean, this makes sense to me. It's like when you just need the bow.
At this point, you just gotta go into the dungeon that requires
Yeah,
it.
you're right. Yeah, at this point, you just gamble that what you need left is in the dungeon that you need to go to. When you haven't touched either of them. So
it's a crystal dungeon you have not touched versus a pendant that you have no way of making fast.
Yeah, no Samaria makes this miserable. I would also just be like, yeah, I guess I'll suffer through pod, find out the bad news, go to Eastern Palace, get the bow.
Okay, well that's crystal number 7 for Calvin. Hey, what do you think about playing the game?
we can play a game. There's no bot that really facilitates it anymore. But hey, everybody in chat, if you want to play a little game with us, we like to do something where we guess where Ganon's Sour Big Key is. Pick a number between 1 and 22. That's going to be how many checks does Calvin do before they find the big key in Ganon's Tower. And no, you can't be 20. Oh, are you not listening to me, chat? It can't be 23. 1 to 22.
So anything above 19 is considered right side, or anything above 17 is considered right side. So 17 or above, you're assuming it's cane locked.
Yeah, you're assuming that we're also going to find Samaria in there.
That being said, what's your go-to number, Slumberjack?
4.
Nice. I'll go with 11. We'll split the difference. We'll say it's not going to be right side, but it'll be late in the checks.
Looks like Renderer about to pick up their flute once they remember to give a mushroom to a certain witch.
Which will be pseudo go mode for Renderer as well. And then he says, ah crap, where did I find that darn mushroom again? Gosh, we're pulling off the ice tile spawn jump.
Yep. Was just seeing that as well.
Sorry for the interruption.
Oh no, you're perfectly fine. It's not like we're in the same room and I can see when you're going to speak up or whatnot. It's gonna happen.
Okay, chat. Guesses close when Calvin enters GT. So you have a few seconds left. And if you win the GT Big Key guessing game, a little shout out from Slumberjack and I. Not to mention the lifetime supply of ALTTP seeds. Brought to you by ALTTPR.com.
Yep, and then you can just save the VOD somewhere, and then you can share it with all your friends, and feel really good about it.
Okay, so small key and hard piece off of right side.
Oh. Well. Easy.
There it is.
3 is the answer. Who guessed 3? There was someone. Snaps Befell. Congratulations. I don't see anyone else who guessed 3, so you are the winner. Now you can clip this and then like save it for later and like show it to your friends. Be like, look, I did it. I guessed 3.
GG to you.
Yeah, everyone's gonna be so impressed. Good job. Oh, the bot is working apparently. Okay, that's cool. All right, we get our first good old Ganon's Tower climb. First run of the gauntlet.
Quick reminder to everybody, don't forget to follow these burners if you haven't already. They're doing a great job.
All right. So what do we have on the other runner screens? We've got Hibbs. I think Hibbs is taking a moment there to figure out what have I missed. Maybe forgetting they have the mushroom. Yeah, okay. I think that was it. They took a moment there. I saw them pull up their map. And I think they realized, oh, I have a mushroom on me. So this should be Kiebs also in go mode very shortly.
Meanwhile, Render cleaning up desert. Josh Bittner needs to go to the Eastern Palace.
Yeah, it's just that one bow location. Like I said at the beginning of this race, like that's gonna mess someone up, and here we are.
And I think after Ice Palace, I'm pretty sure Eastern's last location.
Yeah, oh yeah, because Josh did go into pod and then just dipped out because maybe they didn't have the mirror at the time. No silver arrows makes this fight, land mode 2, makes this fight a little bit less fun, especially because of that Medusa in the lower left-hand corner, but we're still getting through it perfectly fine. I say as the Medusa hits him. Meanwhile, Professor Render taking down Landmo 1, Kieb's getting the duck unstuck, and then Josh finishing up Ice Palace, hopefully finally leaving them with only the option of going to Eastern Palace.
And for anyone wondering what Calvin's doing, well, we don't have a Samaria, so that room becomes a little more annoying. But Ether is the answer in this particular case.
Oh yeah. I mean, as long as they're dead eventually, that's fine.
True. Very true.
All right, Josh, where are you going? Are we doing Eastern?
I think he's gonna be forced in there. I can't think of anything he hasn't done. Eastern is not at this point.
They not done? Josh, where are you going? What have we missed?
Apparently anything but... Oh, did he never check Lumberjack?
Oh, possibly. I mean, I personally don't check Lumberjack until I find the boots, so this is a very real possibility. Alright, so confirmation from Josh. It's not there. Which means...
Loot to 5, Josh.
Loot to 5. Or 3.
3.
Josh, what are we missing? What secrets do you know?
Render enters GT and will be in go mode in about 20 seconds.
Yep.
Official go mode.
Yeah, thankfully no Samaria means that we can't actually continue on the right side, so pretty much every runner are going to be very quickly finding their big key on the torch.
Calvin getting trolled arm 2'd.
Alright.
Nearly again.
Dude, I never point my sword towards Moldorm because you just get those weird interactions where you like do like a half poke, or you poke and then you think you're actually hitting it with a spin. Oh.
Oh, hi, validation, Samaria. How you doing?
Well, we don't call it the V word anymore. It's now simply the Moldorm 2 chest. But yep, that's a place for Samaria.
So the game really, 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 really did not want you going into either TR or Meyer today.
Yeah. Okay. Doing good as Professor Render also starts to make their way up the climb. And we do have Josh Bittner finally in the correct place that they need to be to wrap this one all up.
With the early routing, gonna feel going super well. Gonna feel a little bit bad finding Bo in what, second check?
It's It's on the right side. It's map chest. So yeah, that's the second chest. Yep. I had to think through running it myself.
And Kiebs is getting that tempered, which is a good thing because it's going to be a quick climb.
Oh yeah, chat pointing out where were silvers? Take a guess.
Probably GT. I mean, could be TR or
Oh,
Meyer.
true.
We don't know.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, we just got that Samaria. Maybe it's time to go into Turtle Rock. Maybe it's time we get our silvers. Maybe one of these runners will surprise us and just be like, "Oh yeah, Samaria. Time to get my silvers," and they'll just god route into a first check of Turtle Rock for it.
Oh lord.
And then they have to do the climb again. But I mean, you know.
Oh, Calvin, no.
Calvin, you have okay. You do have safeties. I was gonna say you have safeties.
Well, I think Calvin was spamming Y because the cape got put on and immediately taken off.
Oh. Yeah, cape not great for emergencies because when you first equip it, you have to wait like a full second before you can even use it. And is that Josh now in go mode as well with that bow?
Yep.
Yep. And then Big Key is, of course, all the way in the back.
PR has our silvers today.
Time to go get them.
Because why not? So you have to do the GT climb to get your Samaria to get your silvers. All right, cool. Thanks, game.
All right, Calvin. You just got to play this one cool, Calvin. Don't worry about it. Surprised we're not using the fire rod. It's a little bit easier in this fight. You got half magic. You don't need to worry about dodging a fire bat on the corner of the stage. Good motions though. You want to keep with those horizontal and vertical movements. Try to keep away from the diagonals as much as possible.
And render bombing and fire rodding validation chest. I'm sorry, Moldorm 2.
And I just said you were doing a good job not doing diagonal movements. And you're walking again and twice. There we go. Good, good, good.
Should be about done.
It's one of these next few hits.
There it is.
There we go.
Everybody, get your GGs into chat for Calvin919. Finishes off Ganon himself.
Yeah, could have fall off the bridge. Okay, no.
We have Calvin finishing up first place on Restream. We have him finishing up at 7th place overall with a time of 1:37.25 on racetime.gg. Ahead of him, we have Cade Rukawa finishing in first, 1:25.29. Ravis, 1:28.55. Mr. Ed, 1:29.41. Pop Specialist, 1:32.53. Mal Xanthalos, pardon me, 1:35.09. Madcap, 1:35.16. And Sniping Shire is Calvin with a 1:37.25, and Shire about 30 seconds later, 1:37.57.
And then we do have Professor Renderer now in their Ganon fight. Setting up for that. I think we have it. 2, 2, 3. Oh, that may have been a 1-on-1. Yeah. We'll see if they get the 1-on-1. They should, because yeah, there it is. Easy peasy 1-on-1 from Professor Renderer.
So Josh Baitner finishing off Eastern, going to Pod to finish that off.
Gibbs, in the meantime, making their way up. Oh, and I guess Professor Renderer didn't do the Moldorm 2 chest.
He did not. He bombed it and fire rotted it, but did not pick it up.
All right. Give us just a moment, guys. We do have Calvin joining us here, but we do have a Ganon fight going on. We're going to wait for that to finish, and then we're going to be interviewing Calvin here, who is our winner on the restream today. Or Professor Render's stream could freeze. Well, in that case, GG's, Calvin. Welcome to the commentators room.
GG, Calvin.
Thanks, GG's.
GG's. Well run. Man, what a messy seed. Things of importance in the Hera basement, in the bow being in Eastern Palace, which tripped up some runners. Mirror all the way in Nagina. What was your experience with the seed today? How do you feel about it?
I am so angry. No, okay, so like, not only item placement was like terrible. I last located Moon Pearl on the last possible thing for I could do Aga, and then I died in like Thieves Town like 3 times. Not only did I die there in like 3 times, I like the first time I went up to the attic, I threw a bomb, and then I died, got fairy revived as it was exploding, and then the attic didn't open, so I went all the way down, and then had to go all the way back up, died, gotta go all the way back up, died. I was just like, you know what? I wanted to forfeit. If I wasn't on restream, I would have forfeited right then and there. But, so like, I said, alright, the only way I'm doing good in this seed is if I find something, I go do it, like, immediately. So, that was my plan, and I guess I'm surprised to finish 7th out of however many.
I mean, this race, there was so many gotchas where anything could have gone wrong, and for some of our runners on the restream, everything went wrong. You know, Mirror wasn't found, or Fire Rod wasn't found until later. We had one person who, like, almost accidentally fell back into Fire Rod. So, speak of the devil, it's Professor Renderer joining us, having just finished. GG's.
Hey, GG.
And we didn't say it, but Render finished with a race time of 1:40.18.
I shouldn't. Hey, GG. I shouldn't have went into Ice Palace. I really shouldn't have. Like, if I followed the mushroom, I would have been fine.
But then again, 3 out of 4 of you did Ice Palace, and like the one person who didn't was the one person who placed ahead on the restream. But it's not a bad call because it's rando. Something could be there, but yeah, just unfortunate that you didn't follow the mushroom.
Right, so here's the thing. It's when you're 1 away from go or 1 away from Strogo, that mushroom is scary. And it's,
yep.
Like, that mushroom is scary because, and like, who in the right mind would follow that? Right?
You got a flute.
Hold on,
yeah.
Mr. Render. I will explain myself. Like I was telling the commentators in the stream, I died. I last located Moon Pearl, very last thing. I died 3 times in Thieves Town. Forgot to blow out the attic. I'm like, if I was not on restream, I would have forfeited. So anytime I was like, if you watch the replay, I do finish Swamp, skip left side. Like, I'm skipping Zora, left side, all this stuff just to catch back up. I'm like, we're full sending. If we find something, we go do it right away. And I don't want to touch pendant dungeons. So
right. Also, it's like, I think this is the second time this happened, but I didn't kill Aga, so I never killed Aga. Like, I was like, okay, so here's the thing. I was like, okay, I might do it, but I need to hold off just in case. Like, hold off in case the Moon Pearl ends up being there and ends up being like not on the pyramid ledge. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna just kind of take it slow and then I'm just gonna go and just do the remaining Kakariko checks I didn't do, which was Sick Kid and also Powder. Yeah.
So really quick here, get your GGs in chat for Kieb's Gaming. Finishes off Ganon and does finish on the restream here and finishes off 14th place with a 144 rate. And Renderer, something quick for you here. I love how you treated Hype Cave. That was wonderful. And second, Validation Chest. Love it, but do you know what was in that chest now?
Samaria?
Yes, indeed.
It said it was Turtle Rock anyway, so I was never going to bother picking it up. I was never going to bother.
We thought it was entertaining, that's all.
Do GT climb, go get silvers, do it again, kill Agatha.
Yeah, no way. No way I'm gonna do that. It's a time sink. So first of all, the hype cave or cave 73 or whatever, or I'm just gonna call it overhyped or overrated cave because it's just overrated. that's my only reason why I bombed it, because like it's hype cave 73, overhyped cave, overrated cave, just anything to make fun of the hype cave name. And then Moldorm 2 is I typically do just bomb Moldorm 2 anyway, to be honest.
All right, and just to interrupt us all, we do also have Kieb's joining us here in the commentator's booth. GG's on a race well run. We're talking about how messy this was for everybody.
What's an Aegina's cave?
Who knows? I mean, there was half of you that were like a missing mirror for the longest time, and then half of you that were missing fire rod,
And
kind
Bo.
of thing. And Bo. Well, there was basically Josh that was missing Bo. All the rest of you kind of intuited your way into the Bo. Josh was the only one who literally saved it for last location.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love, so my fire rod routing was kind of funny because like I was like, after I'm done with Spike K, I was like, maybe I shouldn't leave it out. I mean, I've already done everything on the mountain as it is, so so what's going on to Hera?
We were trying to encourage you. Go to Hera. Go to Hera.
Yeah. If you watch it back, we're just like, wait. Is he actually turning around to do Hera? And like that probably like got you back the most amount of time possible. It was that actual call to do that, because otherwise, you're correct. What else is going to bring you back up there unless you got like, I forget. Did you still have like fighter sword at that point, kind of thing?
Master, I believe.
Okay, well then, because the book was the only thing that would have brought you back up there.
Right. So here's the thing. I had Master before on my second trip up the mountain. My only reason was to get the tempered sword that was there, because you know, it's there. I was planning to save it in case just because in case just like what if they got a sword elsewhere, you know? If the seed was quick enough, because like look at the pendant and crystal layout was so perfect. What happened to it? It could have like if everything lined up perfectly, I would be getting that fighter sword right as I enter GT. But seeing the 140 time on my side, yeah, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And back to you. Apologies if we've been mispronouncing. Is it Kiebs?
It's Keeps. Thanks.
Kiebs.
Oh,
Apologies.
Keeps. Oh, good call.
Apologies for us butchering your name all seed, but what are your...
I actually did start the scene with like, all right, well, sorry, Keebs, you're gonna have to suffer watching this restream or rewatching it with me saying the wrong thing for the next 2 hours.
But what are your overall impressions of the seed here besides Agahnim not being a thing?
Well, I thought it was going to be real fast because I could do 5 crystal dungeons in the first 45 minutes or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like we had all the items super early, and there was no way I was going to go to Agahnim. So in my mind, it was dead. I clowned a little bit early because I got the glove and hook shot. So I was like, well, I'll just go to the mountain and then immediately find Hammer after getting nothing out of Paradox. So it was a little sad, but Yeah, I don't know that I've ever seen that early of 5-6 crystals. Because both of those were the very first two dungeons that I was able to do.
Hera and Eastern.
Yeah. And then I forgot that mushroom was a thing. I don't know if it was obvious that I was standing around contemplating life. And,
yep, I caught it. I saw because I saw you pull up. You actually on the
sure
overlay,
did.
you pulled up your map, and I was like, oh, they're trying to figure out what they have left. And then as soon as you started going towards mushroom, like they just realized they had it.
Yeah, I was like, I've done everything. I was like, did I forget something in a dungeon? And then, yeah, I saw that green square and was like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that thing I got out of the back was swamped like 30 seconds ago.
Right.
Well, not 30 seconds ago. I forget what order people did things in, but
We were thinking that for a while. We were thinking, oh crap, the only thing that'll push cubes towards desert area will be if Book or Flute shows up, and that took a while.
Yeah, that was exactly the play there. I was not going to desert until I had access to it.
And little did we know, access to it came from having the stupid mirror.
Yeah. I also got a slight chuckle, I guess, out of Validation Chest being Red Cane.
Yes, that was great.
Funny that I just decided to bomb it because, well, I mean, I'm trying to send a message here.
It was the right call right there.
I bomb it and I fire on it because like I'm not fluffing. There's no reason to fluff. So, like, especially with me having tempered and sufferless, doesn't really matter. And when I found out when you told me about the Samaria, it's like, yeah, no, I'm not wasting time. So, yeah.
we do have Josh Bittner just now about to drop into the Ganon's fight. So everybody, let's be good and let's give him a little cheer on, and then we'll have a full room of folks in here.
Any other thoughts that we didn't cover from this seat from anybody?
So what it sounds like to me is the beginning. Y'all were like everybody was missing some piece. Like I think you said Render forgot the fire rod, and then Kibbs forgot the mirror, and Josh forgot the bow.
Yep, that sounds right.
It was pretty convenient for Render because he was the only one who went and got mirror early. So when he went into pod, got locked out immediately, just went out, mirrored, and checked Eastern. It's like, oh, hi, Bo. So
Yeah.
that ended up going pretty well.
Yeah.
I last location Moon Pearl, so I had all the things. So I was the only one that had all the things, but I was probably stupid behind. Like. That's how I felt, anyway. Like, I think I had like a 33-minute freaking Dark World access. I'm like, ugh.
There were actually 3 of you that were pretty much like more or less in sync, and it was Professor Renderer who was kind of running away with it, except they were missing the fire rod. And eventually, that's when we were just like, oh, when are they going to get their fire rod? Because that was like the one thing they were missing to remain ahead.
I mean, for what it's worth, I ended up just completely last locating flutes. So, I mean, and my routing decision to head back into Hera was after I was done with the entire mountain was like, okay, I can't put it up for too long. I have to do something, or we're in deep trouble. So, that's it does. Yeah, and you could tell as if I don't know if you could tell that, but it felt as if I got a little desperate trying to find like that just finding my flutes or book or whatever, because it was gonna be either or book or flute would have been a like the better call, or like is more likely, and that's how it showed up in the first place. So I can't really fault myself for for the fire rod call. Just it's like I know Hera, I know myself. Doing as much as I love the Hera pot, I know there's a caveat that comes with it, and that's leaving out if I don't get both items, I'm leaving one out. So yeah.
I completely agree.
Hey, just real quick, Josh Bittner did just finish. Let's see what the official time was. It was hour 54, 18 seconds. GG's to Josh Bittner.
GG's. But go ahead and continue, please.
No, I completely agree with what Render said. Like, if I knew how to Hera pot without boots, I would have not gone to basement at all, and just gone right up. Like, try to jet. Like, I believe that's what you try to do in open stage. You try to get as much. Like, if you got a crystal dungeon done or ready, make your way to it, check everything along the way, and do it. That's at least how I like to approach it. So,
I can't hear anyone.
Josh, you there?
I mean, we can hear you, Josh.
Oh.
Oh, well, he's gone. We had Josh for a second there, but he is gone.
Yeah, tech issues. But yeah, that's the reason why like I've deployed the Lord Raiden setup, because that setup is honestly super free and you don't need boots at all. I know it's still slower compared to spin speed Hera pot, but I just simply can't get it consistently. I'm sorry, I'd rather do my non-spin speed methods, and Lord Raiden setup is the better one.
Josh, you there? GG, hello.
Hello. Wow.
There you are.
There
Yeah,
you
yeah,
are.
wowie for everybody. Everyone had a fun time with this one.
Yeah, but I'm looking at my finish time, and I'd like to think surely I'm better than this.
It was literally just the bow. Like, everybody else at some point had something that kind of brought them there early. Either they were looking for the moon pearl and they took that gamble, or they had done pod without the bow but had the mirror, so it was just convenient to go into Eastern at that time and get their bow. And you were the one who just like didn't have a reason to specifically be driven in that direction because you already had the moon pearl. So
Yeah.
yep. And
yeah.
you didn't have the mirror either, I think was the other part, is because you did a pod dip, but you couldn't just mirror out and go to Eastern Palace afterwards.
So, what
Right.
pushed you into Ice before going to Eastern?
Honestly, Eastern just didn't exist in my mind. I've always been a bowless Eastern skipper, and I think I took it to the extreme today because nothing pushed me to Eastern ever. I mean, bleh. I also kind of fell victim to some seed bleed because I just came from the Reduced Crystals Ladder race, and and I was a little confused. That's why I randomly went over to the Zora area and I had seed bleed because there was a bow there in my previous seed. So I was like, clearly, like, as soon as I got the flippers, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go get my bow, and I was very confused when there was no bow there.
Hate to see it.
So yeah, all in all, not really a great showing. I'll live with it. The way I'm seeing it, this is a new sprite for me. I'm learning how to use it. This week I got to start my Ambrosia and Swordless practice for League because I got recruited onto a team very late. I was not expecting to, but yep, I am on the team that Willard put together at the last second.
Oh, nice.
Well, not with Willard, but Willard in the League Discord was like mad because there was 87 teams and they wanted to have 88. So I guess like all of the leagues would have like 7 teams each division or whatever. I forget exactly. So it wouldn't be weird. So me and 2 other mysterious runners are on a team, and well, a league reveal will be interesting. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, we'll all find out about that on the 24th. So I think this is a good time. Any final thoughts on this before we close up shop here and let someone else take over this channel?
No, thanks for sticking around. I realized I kind of forgot who I was running against. I should have checked against the ladder. I mean the leaderboard there, and if I saw the third person finish, I should have just forfeited out for y'all. So thanks for sticking around, watching my terrible gameplay, and keep an eye out for the tournament schedule for the Casual Boots tournament. We got one more semifinal. We got one more semifinal. We got like the semifinals and finals left. I want to say, yeah, it will be. I'm just looking here. That's the wrong link. Yeah, we have Bwayne versus Gamachu, and then I know Jem versus Rob J. Beasley hasn't been scheduled yet, but Wednesday, September 14th, 10:30 Eastern, we got Bwayne versus Gamachu, and then we'll keep an eye out for the other semifinal, and then we'll have our finals. Other than that, thanks for having me on Restream. Thanks to the comms and crew for volunteering your time to watch this nonsense. And hopefully the next time y'all have me on Restream, I will play a lot better than this.
You played perfectly fine. It's rando. Anything from anybody else?
I'm gonna repeat myself from earlier. Had I not rushed the mushroom, I wouldn't have dived into Ice Palace, or just went on that whole checking spree just to blockade the flute. But outside from that, thanks to comms trackers, all that typical stuff, and I'm glad you liked how I treated the more, I guess, overrated stuff.
I love it. You gotta bomb some stuff. It's appreciated.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I also probably had 6,000 because I didn't have that early mirror from Agina. You know, I wonder how I forgot to check my final screen. How many deaths I had because I was doing intentional death warps. I probably had like 15 deaths. Like a truly absurd number of dead eyeballs.
All right, and Calvin Keebs, anything before we go?
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for tracking, calming, and putting this on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys for putting the show on, the trackers, the commentators, and I just want to point out something. As ugly as this seed was, we had 2 forfeits and 21 people finished. Everybody under 2 hours. Kind of pretty good for the way that it shaped out to be, in my opinion.
Yeah, for what it's worth, it wasn't too bad, despite it. Yeah, I mean, I'll gladly take the 140. Just it's not ideal, but like it could have been worse, you know.
Yes. Definitely.
Anyway, I'm out. Thanks for having me on, and I'll talk to y'all whenever.
Yep. Cheers, y'all.
All right, thank you, everybody. And with that all being said, just so you know, this is speed gaming, but A Link to the Past Randomizer, like we mentioned, you can finish this in 2 hours. You can finish this in whatever amount of time that you want. It's fun for everybody. You don't have to take it too super competitively. But very last words, again, thank you to my co-com, Lana Bean, who's been here. Thank you to our trackers, Togepi, Matt Ewok Herd, and thank you for the people in the background. I know Professor Render is putting in some work in the background, as well as Drossi. And thank you for watching here. This is what makes it fun. Lana Bean, I leave it to you to close it out.
Sounds great. It's a pleasure. Thank you for co-commenting with me. Everybody, don't forget to follow Speed Gaming through Speed Gaming 6. Follow everybody just like Slumberjack was just saying. But otherwise, everybody have a fantastic night and stay tuned to the Speed Gaming channels for all these SGL things going on. There's so much to list. I did take an hour, so just follow Speed Gaming channels and all sorts of randos are going on. So everybody take care, be safe, have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll catch you next time.